Did Charlie Kirk deserve to die? In a certain sense, yes, I would certainly say so. Now, keep in mind, I said he was deserving of dying, not that he deserved to get killed for sharing his political views and opinions. For example, you can say that it's unjustified for a serial prank caller, like someone who calls in fake bomb threats to daycare centers and ends up getting a bunch of small children killed by SWAT team members, to be killed without due process. However, if the police were apprehending him and in the process he got shot and killed, would it be deserving? Assuming they got the right guy, of course I would say yes. Seems pretty deserving to me. Do I think that they would be in the right for shooting him? No, absolutely not. I strongly believe in due process and rule of law, but in terms of what is deserved, I don't think it's entirely wrong for someone like that to die prematurely. So that's the way I frame things in relation to Charlie Kirk dying, because he spread very harmful political narratives and ideas so much that his impact on other people's rights were diminished and threatened as a result. I do believe in freedom of speech. I believe everything that isn't a threat, libel, or slander should be absolutely legally protected. However, you have to look at it this way. Do I believe someone who promoted the same things as Adolf Hitler is worthy of mourning after their death? No, I don't think so, because they are promoting ideas that are widely known and recognized to be extremely harmful to the basic rights of other people. Do I believe they are entitled to speak their mind? I believe they should have the right to do so, but obviously I'm going to see it as a positive if they end up dying somehow. I want to make something clear in this video. If you're a conservative individual, I don't believe that you should die, especially if you are younger. That being said, people like Charlie Kirk should have known better in promoting the things that he did, especially to a young and impressionable audience. I more so view the followers of him and his beliefs as victims, and Charlie Kirk being someone who profits off of other people's ignorance for his own personal or political gain without any ethical considerations. One of the reasons I feel so strongly about this is that when I was younger, I fell down into all this right-wing crap, and then later in my teenage years, I became a zealous religious fundamentalist. So, in a way, I view myself as a victim of people like Charlie Kirk. I was never a follower or a supporter of his, and I never watched him, but I do know that he promoted a lot of the insane stuff that I ended up believing. Instead of encouraging people to go after rationality and having some intellectual honesty, he'd rather peddle very harmful, stupid theories. Some people might think, oh, he's just your run-of-the-mill Christian conservative internet personality. However, even this year, he was promoting the Great Replacement, also known as the white genocide theory, publicly, and he's been doing this for years. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the idea that the quote-unquote elites, usually framed as Jews, are in a major conspiracy to kill off and replace all white people in the world with non-white people. I don't think he ever said it was the Jews behind this, but more often than not, most people who believe in this theory gravitate toward blaming Jews for it. Just go on X, aka Twitter, and you'll find no shortage of people sharing that rhetoric. That being said, I do plan to make a video debunking that theory at some point in the future. Another super harmful belief that he has promoted is that there should be no separation of church and state in the United States. If you don't know what that means, it's the idea that religion and our government structure should be two entirely separate things. An example of this would be that the government cannot make a law based on the beliefs of any religion. Charlie Kirk has stated that he believes church and state should be mixed together, which of course would not uphold religious freedom and would violate the rights of other people to live freely, not to mention his promotion of religion in general, which I believe is super harmful to the entire world. Religion seriously needs to die off at this point. It has no place in modern civilization where everyone should understand that rationality and reason are much higher values than unfalsifiable fairy tales. There's honestly so much more I could go over and discuss when it comes to Charlie Kirk, and some of you might be wondering, did I deserve to die when I was promoting those harmful ideas like him? I never promoted the idea of the Great Replacement, though I did somewhat believe in it at some point, but I never believed or promoted the idea, to my memory at least, that the government and religion should be combined, even when I was a religious fundamentalist. So I wouldn't say I deserved to die, as I was merely a victim caught up in the lies, like most of his followers are. I wasn't out there with a massive platform sharing these views, and I was able to get out of it. So I wouldn't say I deserve to die, nor the vast majority of people who share his beliefs currently. The main takeaway of my message is that we shouldn't mourn his death, unless if you knew him personally or were part of his family. Of course, that's normal and makes sense to me, but he didn't die as just some imperfect, random guy like the rest of us. He died as someone whose career was peddling harmful nonsense to impressionable young people. I'm particularly mad that he promoted church and state, and religion in general, as those are some of the most harmful things in this world, in my book. Feel free to share this video with your friends, family, or anyone else you know who liked Charlie Kirk, and let me know what they thought about it in the comments section. Thanks for watching.